Hey, what's going on, viewers and listeners of the Fantasy Flavor Podcast? My name is Dylan Thomas, and I'm joined here with Snot and Sarth, the Ravens fan, and Trenton Roberts, the Colts fan. I'm a Patriots fan
Yeah.
myself, so they both hate me. But we're gonna get down here with a super flex. We're doing super flex rookie mock draft, and we're actually gonna do a mock draft based off of the NFL mock draft of the Indianapolis Colts fan forum. So thank you so much to them. I believe it was 30. That was a whole bunch of different real people kind of coming together, picking for certain teams. Trenton picked for the Colts and the Ravens, I believe. So it's good. We're gonna have some fun here. So let's start off this mock draft here. So now, whenever you're ready, you can hit the start draft.
Oops.
It's okay. So it is super flex, which is interesting. And this is kind of tough for me. I didn't know if we're doing one QB or super flex, but we're doing super flex, and it makes it a little bit easier. I was planning on going Jonathan Taylor here, who landed on the Ravens in the second round, but this is pretty clear to me who it's going to be, and I'm going to go ahead and grab Tua Tagovailoa, who was selected by the Chargers in the first round. What do we think about this pick?
I mean, it's on you. I just can't. I'm not going to take Tua at 101,
Really?
knowing what we know. Yeah, I'll go Burrow. Why wouldn't I take Burrow over Tua?
Tua's got the weapons galore.
Burrow
You
has to,
literally
and he
just
has.
went off of my tweet.
Yeah, looks like.
Oh yeah.
Tua's always been over Burrow for me. I'm a spicy man.
No, I just don't want to take that injury risk. Like there is no reason to.
That's fair,
And
but when he's not like
unless
Steve Young, though, we'll be sitting here.
unless Tua was going 101, like if NFL
Mhm.
thinks that Burrow is better than him and they are taking Burrow in the mock draft that we are talking about at 101 and Tua at 103, is it? 106.
106. Yeah.
It does not make sense to me to go Tua for myself. But yeah.
It's a little bit risky, but I think Tua is actually a safer prospect. The only thing that doesn't make him safer is the injury history. So I've talked to some fantasy doctors, and they think it's not a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and trust my resources.
Sure.
Trenton, you're on the
I
clock
actually
here.
sent a. Hold on, I want to comment.
Okay.
I actually sent a tweet out about this earlier today. How I would take Tua over Joe Burrow if he goes to the Chargers, which he does. And going to the Chargers, he has an amazing supporting cast. He has a great tight end, two great receivers that really like attacking the middle of the field, and he has one of the best pass catching running backs in the league in Austin Ekeler. So all those guys fit perfectly what Tua does. Tua is that guy that attacks the middle of the field. He doesn't really go deep a lot. He doesn't like to attack the outsides, but he dominates over the middle. So all those guys fit him perfectly. And even though Cincinnati does have a lot of weapons, Los Angeles does have the same amount of weapons. They have a better tight end situation. They have a similar wide receiver situation, and their running back situation is. As I know, you guys are lower on Ekeler, but
No.
I mean, it's not that big of a difference when you're looking at a quarterback perspective.
Okay.
But we'll move on to the 102. Since it is super flex, I said I would take Tua right over Burrow. So naturally, I have to go with Joe Burrow with this selection. He is, as I already said, he's going into a situation with some great weapons on that Bengals offense. And he's the first overall pick for a reason. He's going to come in and be a very good quarterback in the league.
Yeah. So at 103, I don't have any comments on that. We already have discussed. Yeah. At 103, I have a couple of options. I see that in this mock, what Swift is taken as the first running back at pick number 45 by Tampa Bay, and then Jonathan Taylor goes at pick number 60 to Baltimore. Even though I'm a Baltimore homer, and
dude, you gotta go Taylor. Don't do it.
I wanted to go Taylor, but I have to go with Swift because I think first year production will be much better for Swift than Taylor. Because whether we like it or not, Ingram is going to take a lot of snaps from Taylor. Forget snaps. I think he will dominate more than Taylor does if Taylor goes there. So I think it's a pretty easy choice for me. It's Swift at 103.
Okay. Okay, I get it. I mean, Swift's probably the more complete player. I do think people kind of don't talk about how much he struggles in between the tackles. I don't think he's as good. I think he's closer to Tevin Coleman, for example, than some people think. That doesn't mean he's bad, but he's definitely in that first tier. It's him and Jonathan Taylor, and I think they both got great landing spots here. So with my pick, 104 here, I'm going to take Jonathan Taylor, who went late second round to the Ravens with the 60th overall pick. I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor here. If you could manually set that for me, Sanat.
Yes, sir.
Just overall, I think Jonathan Taylor is the best running back in this class, especially for fantasy purposes. I think after Ingram's gone, I can't remember Sanatan if he's there for 1 year or 2 year. I can't remember.
1 year more.
1 more.
I mean, he can be cut after this year.
Yeah.
Easily.
Okay. So, but he is in okay. That probably we'll see.
He signed 3-year contract.
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I thought. But he can be cut. Okay. So I mean, if they draft him this early, I could see Jonathan Taylor. It's just such a great fit. Even though
it is
they just run it so much, even with Jackson, and I think these mobile QBs really help out opening the running game too. You know what I mean?
But Swift will get a lot of targets. That's where he definitely passes Taylor for me, because Brady is there.
Yeah,
they clearly need a running back. Like, that's the biggest need right now. And Ravens, you can think Taylor as a luxury pick. I would not say that. I would not go that far. But for this year, he could be a luxury pick for the Ravens. But Tampa Bay definitely needs a running back, and they are selecting Swift over Taylor. So, adding all those things up, I just could not take Taylor over Swift.
Yeah, definitely higher draft capital. It's similar to me. What do you think?
For both these picks, it's just preference, really. Jonathan Taylor is going to a great situation in Baltimore where he will be that lead back in the top rushing offense within a couple seasons. And you have DeAndre Swift, who, for those of you that have stuck around the podcast for a long time, that a while back I compared him to a young Shady McCoy. I think he has some great talent, and I feel like Tampa Bay is a good landing spot. So both those picks are very solid. Can't go wrong with either of those two guys. But after those guys, that's where it starts to get kind of hairy. So sitting here at the 105, I'm diving deep into the draft. This guy shouldn't have fallen this far in the draft, but he did. Went 119 to Jacksonville, who traded for that pick from Atlanta. And at that pick, the Jaguars selected Cam Akers.
Whoa, wait a second. Cam Akers over J.K. Dobbins. Have you had a change of heart? That's what I want you to address first.
But yeah, Cam Akers is going to a great landing spot. Sure, J.K. Dobbins was drafted to Miami here, and he has a clear lead back role if he goes in and performs. But I think Cam Akers has more upside overall than Dobbins. And going to Jacksonville, who just earlier today we were hearing speculation that Jacksonville was wanting to trade Fournette. They trade Fournette. Akers has a lot of that backfield just opens up a ton of volume, and Akers could come in and take that. And I feel like Jacksonville is in a better situation than Miami for a ground attack type thing. So I feel like that's a better situation. So if you want to go ahead and grab me Cam Akers at the 105, Sanatan.
Yes, sir.
We can move on unless you guys have anything to say.
I was just trying to. No, I would take Dobbins over Akers, but it's
but
I mean, depending on the draft capital, I obviously like Akers a lot, and but here I can see that he's going to. But again, looking at that Fournette rumor going right now, if in fact Fournette is traded, then of course Akers, definitely shoot up the board, and he will be my third running back for sure.
Yeah, I'm surprised he even went in the 4th round. That's kind of a little alarming for me. He went that late. But now, since we know they're trading Fournette, I feel like if they were to take Cam Akers, for example, I even saw it on Twitter with Cam Akers to Jacksonville, it would probably be more like in the 3rd round. I don't see him waiting till the 4th round. But before we move on here, is Jacksonville, if they trade Fournette, is that like the best running back landing spot available? Because we already know there's so many touches available. We already know there's so many targets available. Like, Fournette wasn't the best. Like,
yeah.
Is it top 3 then? If it's not number 1, where does it rank for you guys?
For me, number 2.
Yeah, probably around the
After
same.
after Tampa, I think Tampa is my number 1 landing spot,
Yeah.
and then Jacksonville if Fournette is traded.
If Fournette is traded, it makes it interesting, but they're not quite number 1. They're top 3, but you still have to look at that offensive line in Jacksonville. The reason that Fournette wasn't efficient was because I think I read earlier he had 0.7 yards before contact per run. So most of his yards were after contact or first contact. So he played that really well, and that offensive line is going to hurt whichever running back they might draft.
I think,
but I still think that
than
volume
Fournette,
will be
though.
there enough.
I think these running backs are better than Fournette. I mean, they are more complete. As you can see, Fournette catches the passes, but he doesn't look smooth catching them.
Not natural. Like he can't do it.
Not natural. Yeah, he can. Anyone can. I think even Howard catches 25 passes, man. Like
yeah, but Fournette
Jordan
caught
Howard.
80. Let's not treat 80 and 25 like the same thing.
Yeah, they threw it so much. So I mean, look at the number of targets too, and clearly Minshew wants to throw to his running backs, and I think Akers is very very smooth at that. That's why. And look at the volume they give to their running backs. You can't get such kind of volume anywhere else.
True. Like even Tampa Bay could be a committee with Ronald. Ronald Jones wasn't bad last year. He really wasn't that bad running the ball last year, and it
he could not beat Barber, man. Like
he couldn't
imagine
like get
that.
like the whole work, but he was decent. He rushed for like 800 plus yards or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. Like, look it up right now. I can look it up while you make your next pick here. So what's your next pick?
I really wanted to go Judy, but he's landing in at the Jets. I have to think about it.
Well, CeeDee Lamb to the Jets here.
Oh, sorry, Judy is Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I don't like the quarterback situation there too much, and then CeeDee Lamb also went there. So I think I'll go with Dobbins. Like he's the only player I think who is guaranteed to get first year touches, and I really like Dobbins a lot, even though he did not participate in the combine. And Miami, I don't think Jordan Howard is going to stop him for a while, and clearly they want to play defense and run the ball. So I think I'll go with Dobbins.
Yeah, definitely running backs are kind of slim here. There's one other guy here in kind of that top 5 got a bad landing spot. But to bring it back to Ronald Jones quickly here, so he moved 724 rushing yards, 4.2 yards per carry, 300 receiving yards on 31 catches out of 40 targets. So I was a little off, but I think he was more productive than we realized. Anyways, that doesn't matter. So yeah, I really like the Dobbins pick there. I would have taken him because of the good draft capital over Akers. That kind of matters a lot to me. Both are solid spots. So J.K. Dobbins is gonna get so many receptions, unless they use like Patrick Lard or whatever, because it's Jordan Howard with them. Jordan Howard can't catch Randy. He's gonna be there. Dobbins is terrible at pass protection though, so it'll be interesting to see. What do you think, Trent?
Yeah, it's definitely a good pick there. You don't really have anything else to look at. I mean, the net, like you said, the next best options were the wide receivers, and both of them had not great landing spots.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, you're definitely looking at that next running back after those guys.
Yeah, so here for the 107, this pick terrifies me. I'm probably going wide receiver here, and John probably already knows where I'm going. I'm probably going to take CeeDee Lamb here with the 107. That's just my best overall player. Like Jacksonville, where Judy went at the 109, I believe, in the 111, where CeeDee Lamb went in the first round. Just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, they're both bad spots, so I'm going to take the better talent. I think Geese is out in a year anyways. So, and maybe they'll need a new quarterback, but like for wide receivers, I don't expect them to produce much year 1 anyway. So I'm going to take CeeDee Lamb here with the pick 107. I feel good about it. I think Sam Darnold has shown flashes of Jameis Winston, but still that could be good for fantasy value. He's seeing ghosts, and hopefully CeeDee Lamb will be seeing some touchdown passes from him.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think, the number 1 spot there is for the take. So I really like that pick.
Yeah, a lot of volume there. I mean, we already know Trenton's not a CeeDee Lamb guy. I called him a bust before he ever stepped on a field. He said the same thing about N'Keal Harry last year, so maybe he's onto something. But
yeah, Trenton, your pick.
Oh, it's my pick. Okay. See, I'm gonna do it. I'm going to go with the other wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy, because looking at Jacksonville, sure, their quarterback situation is rough right now, but they're projected to be like a top pick, maybe the first overall pick. So they could get their hands on a quarterback next year, like Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. They get one of those two guys, or even another guy that breaks out next year, maybe comes up as like a top 5 pick at quarterback. If they get a quarterback then, Jeudy's value is going to skyrocket. The Jets already have their quarterback, so they're sitting with that, and CeeDee Lamb's volume and potential is going to be capped because of that. Jerry Jeudy's volume and potential have no limit until we know who their quarterback of the future is. So I think that I'll go with Jerry Jeudy here, and I think that they draft a quarterback highly next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're close for me. I'll say that. I mean, I think this next pick's easier for Sanat, and I want to see you fuck it up, though, so...
I mean, all my, receivers that I like are going to weird places in this mock.
Well, there's one in particular, but...
Yeah, I don't like their landing spots, especially the one that I like a lot. So I'll go with the quarterback, the safe choice.
Okay.
I'll go with Herbert. Here, it's he's taken before Tua, so the draft capital is there. And then it's Miami, so I don't think the Fitzmagic is going to stop him for. Maybe he can even start after a few games, because at some game Fitzmagic is going to throw like 4 interceptions, and he will be forced to sit after that. So I think Herbert is the safe choice here. Looking at the other landing spots, I don't like some of those. So
it definitely makes sense there to me. I don't know if we're actually doing the second round as a snake or a linear. I see we have it as snake. Just something to think about. Are we gonna do it linear so I pick the 201 again, and you could just manually set that before I continue here? Do you see that?
Okay.
Are we gonna do it like that? You'll have to just manually set for the second round, right? Because it's
I'll set it manually.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I just want to make sure. All right. Anyways, 110. This is kind of easy for me. I really like Justin Jefferson in the first round here to the Green Bay Packers, so that'll be my pick here at 110. He went 30th overall to the Packers. I really like Justin. How can you not like Justin Jefferson? He is really good. I do,
but I don't like the landing spot.
Really, the Packers? What are wrong with the Packers in the first? There's nobody there but Devontae Adams. They don't even have like a tight end. And Aaron Jones. That wide receiver job. And he's a slot guy too. There's slot open. Like, that's perfect. He has great route running. Like, this is the player I feel like everybody should be on. Like, I don't know how Trenton feels about his film, but I've heard his film's good. His route running's great. He kind of reminds Jerry Jeudy light kind of in that aspect. He has strong hands. He set LSU's reception records. Don't give me that head shake. I've heard great things about his route running.
No, I like Justin Jefferson a lot, but I don't like the landing spot, honestly.
That's crazy. You don't like the... I like the draft capital and the landing spot.
I think Aaron Rodgers is a pain in the butt, and he will only throw to those people who he likes. And I don't think if Justin Jefferson is going to bow down to him and say, "Oh God, please throw it to." I'm not sure.
What the hell's wrong with Justin Jefferson? Anyways, no. He's got the breakout age, the college dominator. He's got everything. How can you not like Justin Jefferson?
The exact opposite of that for me. I like the landing spot, but I don't like his tape.
What?
I'm really not a fan of his tape.
The dude's always open. That's the thing you like about Jeudy. Get the hell out of this podcast. What? Dude, you cannot like Jeudy and not like Justin Jefferson.
He's nowhere near Jeudy in my opinion.
Okay, that's nowhere near. That's fine if you have Jeudy higher, but they do the same fucking thing.
He's nowhere near Jeudy though.
I'm just messing.
I don't like his tape as much as others. I think that he had a good season. He had a great season even, but that was mostly a product of Joe Burrow having an amazing season.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, Joe Brady, the better Brady.
But, no, you did not do this on this podcast.
I'll do it every podcast.
Yeah,
but Joe Burrow carried that offense. He made those receivers. Without Joe Burrow's breakout season, they wouldn't be that good. And Justin Jefferson wouldn't be a first-round pick. It's not even close. He would be a late second, early third at best.
You think Jerry Jeudy would be a first-round pick if he had TCU's quarterback thrown at him? I feel like you can say that for like a lot of prospects, you know?
I think Jeudy would be a first-round pick. I like his tape. I like his tape with other quarterbacks. I like all around. Okay. Before this season, you look at Justin Jefferson's tape before this season, and Joe Burrow broke out. It was decent, but it wasn't great. It wasn't first-round material. It was a decent college receiver.
Yeah, but how can you like Burrow then? Why do we always think it's Burrow that's the one that broke out? Then maybe it's the weapon stepping up too. You know what I mean? Like there's two pieces of the pie. I'm just kind of just blows my mind on how you're higher than Burrow. What do I know? We should just move on here.
Tape. Watching the tape, okay. Burrow absolutely broke out this season. His accuracy got better. Everything got better about him. And he made that receiver. I just don't like Jefferson.
I love Jefferson.
I mean, he's not a bad pick. He's going to a great landing spot here, in my opinion. So he could be a good pick. But I just am not a huge fan of the tape.
Okay.
Your pick. Trenton.
Yeah, your pick.
Show him how it's done. Show him how it's done.
He's fucking taking Chase Claypool. We already know. We just
no. This is who I thought you were going to take. This is really who I thought you were going to take. I thought in a Superflex draft you would go Jordan Love.
No.
Jordan Love landing spot is New Orleans. An amazing landing spot. He's going to learn behind Drew Brees, and once he takes over, he's going to get Michael Thomas. Do they still have Traquan Smith, I believe?
Yeah, Emmanuel Sanders.
Traquan Smith, Emmanuel Sanders, and even a great pass-catching back in Kamara.
Jared Cook?
He is going into a stacked offense. I talked earlier about how Tua and Joe Burrow in this draft, we're going into good offenses. Jordan Love, if he gets drafted to New Orleans, is possibly going into the best, if not a top 3 offense in the NFL. So that landing spot and being able to learn behind an all-time great as a guy who needs development.
Yeah.
He's going to learn behind an all-time great, and that's a great landing spot for him.
You know, I don't hate it. I was pretty close between those two guys, so I'm not going to sit here.
I like the pick.
I like the pick, too. It's a good pick.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad that both of you did not take
we already know
guy.
Who this is.
Who? Can you guess?
Does his name start with a D?
Not a D.
Okay.
There you go. Because I don't like his landing spot. You are talking about Denzel Mims, right?
Yeah,
but I don't like Miami. Yeah,
Okay.
but I like the landing spot of the Viking. I think clearly they need another, at least a wide receiver too, who can, and also Thielen is very old. I think he's around 30. So probably another 2 years probably, and then he can be the number 1. But they funnel the targets to only 2 receivers there. So I think he still get around 100 targets in his rookie season, and I think that's great. I think that's a great landing spot. Cousins is very, very accurate. So
yeah. Question: who do you think's older, Trenton, Sanatin or Adam Thielen?
We are not.
I'll have to go with the old fart himself, Sanatin.
We can't compare players to normal people.
Old men.
Yeah. I might be older than Frank Gore, so that doesn't mean that I'm very old.
I think your cane just fell onto the screen.
Yeah, his cane. Your walking cane. You had him looking, bro.
No, I was like, what are you saying? What cane?
No, you were totally looking for that cane. We exposed him. All right, with my pick here at 201, even though it says, there we go. Oh, yeah, 201 here. I'm going to be taking, if you could set it for me, Denzel Mims. First round draft capital, honestly, is a little high for what I thought. I don't get how the Dolphins are a bad landing spot. He's Tyler to Herbert. He currently has a Fitzpatrick. I get Preston Williams look good. I get Devontae Parker broke out. But one, it's Devontae Parker, who's like the biggest sell in fantasy football ever. this season. Him and Mike,
Yeah.
even bigger than Austin Eckler, who I have my opinions about. And then like Preston Williams is an undrafted free agent. You know what I mean? Like he's an undrafted free. Did he look good because Ryan Fitzpatrick just like chucking the ball, or did he look good because his film was good? We're not gonna go there, but it's just kind of like I like Denzel Mims a lot. This is really good for him. That's like one of the best case scenarios for Denzel Mims there. So I think top of the second is great for him.
I understand your point. I totally understand, and I think I agree too. But the only thing is, I don't like their philosophy. I think there are some weapons there too, and maybe they just run more. Their defense is stacked, man. I think they are going to be such a great defense for this year, and I just don't think they will need to throw a lot.
Yeah. And I get T. Higgins is good too, but I think it's just a better prospect, and they both got similar enough situations to where I go, okay, who's the better prospect? And for me, that's Denzel Mims. T. Higgins has had an awful kind of combine.
No, I totally agree that Mims is the better prospect. I just like the landing spot more and the quarterback more. I mean, Cousins is very good.
Definitely very good. So now we're on the clock here with, I believe it's Trenton here with the 202.
Yeah. Okay, you're going to guess the name again. I'm not going to take the name. Okay.
Claypool.
You mean the tight end?
I love Claypool. And he is actually getting a really good landing spot.
And here. Draft capital. That's insane draft capital for
the
dude.
Draft capital.
Baker.
See, I don't know. Now that I relook at it, yeah, I'm going to do it. Chase Claypool. He's going to the Texans at 34 here. Traded down with the Indianapolis Colts and my Indianapolis Colts. He's going to the Texans, who have no real wide receiver one. They have a few good options, and Brandon Cook and how am I forgetting his name now? I just had it in my head.
Will Fuller, Kenny Stills.
That one. That's the one. Will Fuller.
That one.
If Will Fuller could stay on the field, though, I mean. So, but I mean, they have decent options, but they still need that clear number one guy. And they do have an elite level quarterback in Deshaun Watson. So I feel like that's a great landing spot for him with an open wide receiver job with a great quarterback. I think that's a great fit, going to work perfectly, and I'm going to take him here.
A little bold for me. I think he's more of a tight end than a wide receiver. Does that mean he could work out? And I think he'd be Chase Claypool's my number one tight end in this class. I'll say that. And that Texans offense is going to be full of verticals. Jokingly, it's going to be the Freddie Kitchens special, 4 verticals. You got Chase Claypool who ran a 4.3. You have Brandon Cooks who runs a 4.3. You have Will Fuller who ran a 4.2 or 3.
I think Jameis Winston should be signed there, and just YOLO balls.
Just unleash it.
Yeah. Just throw. Someone will catch. Their team, other team.
I'm sure Bill O'Brien would straight up trade Deshaun Watson away just so he could pick up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You could run David Johnson on a wheel route.
Oh, yeah.
Slow ass David Johnson. It's not near on the clock.
I know. And I hate this mock draft, whoever this Colts
forum. That's why I chose it. These are all terrible spots. They're like,
my favorite. Yeah, I have my favorite landing spot and not so favorite player, and then I have a favorite player, not so favorite landing spot. I don't know what to do. Okay, I'll just go with the player then.
Good.
Hopefully they get a good quarterback later. I'll go with Jalen Reagor. And I was actually hoping to see him go to Eagles, and then I would have taken him much earlier. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, he went to the Chicago Bears. I don't know what a mess there is. They already have a number one Robinson. Then they have who is the other guy? Anthony Miller.
But he hasn't done much.
They don't have a competent quarterback. I don't know if it's even a good land. I don't like that landing spot, but I love Eagles landing spot, but I don't like Laviska Shenault Jr. So unfortunately,
Yeah, I will say the depth chart is wide open though. After Anthony Miller, there's nobody except Javon Wims, I think. So he's probably gonna.
But I don't want the wide receiver 3 of a team that can't throw properly.
Yeah, but that's like day one, and if Allen Robinson is a free agent after this year. So does he take over as the wide receiver 1 next year? Even if let's say the Bears suck, they could drop like a Justin Fields, I don't think they're in the Trevor Lawrence race, but I think he did the right move. That's my point. I think taking the player over the landing spot.
Yeah, in this case, I just did not like Laviska at all. I just don't like him.
Yeah, but do I go Henry Ruggs or do I go Viska? It's tough. What does the film say about Henry Ruggs, Stratton?
Very good.
The film says he's very good. He's more than just that deep threat guy. Everybody's paying him as that deep threat fast guy. He's not that. He's that guy that's going to get open over the middle. He's a great route runner for having that much speed. He is basically.
Yeah, I think
basically Tyreek Hill, just a little bit lesser version of Tyreek Hill. He's a great route runner with amazing speed.
I think
I forgot Henry Ruggs was not taken yet. Dang it.
Yeah, I'm going Henry Ruggs here. He's probably gonna. This is probably the order I take him in, minus that tight end, Chase Claypool. But just Henry Ruggs. It was close between him and Viska. I might even like Viska's talent more, but it's the health issues with Viska Shenault there. Second round there to the Eagles, but Henry Ruggs first round to the 49ers, 13th overall.
Yeah,
you have to
slam dunk.
Slam dunk.
Yep.
Even if he busts, that's second round draft capital for a guy with elite speed. I don't think he's Tyreek Hill. I think he's Deshaun Jackson.
Me too.
I think Tyreek Hill is less of a deep threat than we hype him up to be. I think he's more he can do that, and he's great at that. But I think he'll play more of what Deshaun Jackson does, which Deshaun Jackson.
But look at the draft capital and the coach. I mean, I just love Shanahan's scheme. That coach is great. The draft capital is there. The opportunity is there. Who is there? Like apart from who's the wide receiver there? Forget the name.
Deebo Samuel.
Apart from Deebo, there's no one there.
George Kittle.
Like, I mean, wide receiver? They will at least have 2 wide receivers, right? So I think the number 2 job or even the number 1 is for the taking. I don't think Deebo is number 1 necessarily. So I mean, Ruggs was a no-brainer. I should have taken him earlier if I realized that he's not taken yet.
Yeah, definitely makes a lot of sense there. Yeah. I like it there. So Henry Ruggs is going to be my pick there. I guess Trent's on the clock here. So
it's a 205. There's one name that sticks out to me. I know I sound like a homer for doing this, but at 44, the Indianapolis Colts select Michael Pittman Jr. I love Pittman's tape. Pittman has amazing tape, and he really fits that team. Year 1, he's going to do really well because Rivers loves his big targets. And beyond, he's going to do well because T.Y. Hilton's getting up there in age, and there is really nothing behind Hilton. So he is going to be that wide receiver 2. He might be wide receiver 3 early, but he's going to put up some great numbers still. And he'll be that wide receiver 2 by the halfway mark of his rookie season. And from then on, after a few years, he'll be the wide receiver 1. So you're looking at a guy with long-term upside and short-term upside, and a guy that I really love the tape on in Michael Pittman.
Yep, stole my pick.
It's tough here.
And why did Clyde Edwards-Helaire is mocked to the Raiders, man?
It's awful. It makes no sense. Why would they do that?
Just stupid. I just love him and I want to take him, but no, I'm not taking that guy.
He ain't being
I'll go with Eno Benjamin.
To where and when?
To Rams.
What round?
126 4th round to LA Rams. Eno Benjamin. I think the number 1 job there is for the taking, and he can do really, really well there.
I don't know.
He has the size and the catching prowess, so I think he's a good fit there.
Yeah, definitely makes sense there to me. And it is open for the taking. I don't know if a day 3, round 4 running back's going to take it from Darrell Henderson, who was only around earlier, but it's an extra day, and they traded up a lot. I don't know if you remember, they had no draft capital the year they took Henderson. They traded up.
They did not trade up a lot. They did trade up a few picks, but the other thing is that look at he is round 4 in this class. If he was in last year class, I'm sure he would be higher than some of the other running backs. This class is very deep, man.
I'm not as high on
And
Eno though. That's the thing too, and it comes down to that.
um,
But for me
Mhm.
here, I do want to say, looking at this draft, I think people need to realize this class is very deep, especially in the early second, but it is less deep than what we're hyping it up to be, especially in a one
yep,
quarterback league. Like, landing
Mhm.
spots will ruin players more than it'll help players. Because a lot of the time, I feel like that good
I
landing
agree.
spot's taken by like a player you don't like. Like Mecole Hardman was taken by the Chiefs when they could have taken DK Metcalf, you know? That's kind of an L there for the Chiefs. But
Mhm.
imagine DK on the... Oh my god.
Oh my God, I know.
Holy crap. But I'm going to take Laviska Shenault here. And that's kind of where, even before Eno Benjamin, that's kind of where it just kind of drops for me. I mean, it just stinks, you know. Some of these landing spots aren't the best. And we chose this kind of mock because we need to realize that this is a possibility. Not everybody's going to go to Kansas City in the first round, you know.
Agreed.
So Laviska
Mhm.
Shenault, it's a great landing spot. I do like the player when he's healthy. I feel like this is a player, if you're a film, you know, kind of film grinder like Trenton, you have to like Laviska Shenault. I've heard every single film grinder say positive things. So, dude, I swear to God, you're like a alleged film grinder that just has the opposite opinion of every film grinder ever.
No, I have heard bad things about
Mhm.
him too.
Mhm.
I film grinders like him, I hear. So, you know, I guess it depends
I
on who. But
I'm not a big fan.
he does meet the, like
Yeah.
the breakout age, I believe. So he's an okay prospect. I'll take it. Like, there's just injury risk there for Meckinson. But in the second round,
Huge
in a good
injury
landing
risk.
spot, yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of injuries. But
The landing spot is amazing. No
yeah,
doubt about
he
it.
could be the one.
Oh, easily.
Also, when the Eagles do draft a wide receiver, I think you guys should try to buy low in JJ Arcega-Whiteside, but not the point here. I think who's on the clock
Yeah.
here? Trenton?
Yeah, it'd be me.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know where to go from
Sorry.
here, honestly.
What
There's
did
lots
forgot.
of bad landing spots
Mhm.
for lots of good players. Hmm.
Yeah, that's tough.
I think that the best remaining landing spot with a good player is at pick 42, where the Falcons traded for the pick from Jacksonville and select Cole Kmet, the tight end from Notre Dame. I feel like last season we saw what the Falcons did with a great tight end and Austin Hooper. Honestly, Hooper isn't that great. He's good, but he's not great. Kmet can be a great tight end. He's not. This draft class of tight ends is weak, but Kmet is the clear top option, and he's a good receiving guy. And we saw last year all the garbage time points that Hooper put up, and Kmet should get the same volume, garbage time, all that stuff. I feel like he's the best available pick here. I don't really see anybody else that I love. I absolutely love the landing spot of.
Yeah, definitely. Makes sense there to me. I have nothing else to add.
I mean, for me, I think one of my favorite wide receivers still there, and it's Brandon Ayuk to the Titans. I don't love the landing spot, but I don't hate it too. I think Corey Davis is out after this year.
Yeah, he could be the number 2 there. A good compliment to AJ Brown.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
And he's very good catch, yards after the catch guy too. So
yeah,
it makes a lot of sense to me. Who's on the clock here? Me?
Yep.
I'm gonna shock you all some here. I'm gonna take one of my sleepers here. I actually think got a really good landing spot. Antonio Gibson, running back for the Indianapolis Colts. Oh, good. I was thinking about waiting for him, and then I'm looking at the Colts fan over there, and I'm like, I can't risk that. So Antonio Gibson here, he played wide receiver at Memphis. One of my running back sleepers this class. Oh, he's a lot of hype up to David Johnson. David Johnson was super athletic, super fast. He's really fallen off though after the whole just sucking this year. He's not that fast anymore, but he used to be super fast coming out. So Antonio Gibson there, 4.3 speed, 6'2" or something, 228, big guy. Here's the crazy stat about Antonio Gibson, right? I think it was like 78 touches, 1,000 yards. Think about that.
Yeah, that's
crazy. Hyper efficient player. And maybe he doesn't meet like the kind of the generic running back stats you like, but he was playing wide receiver. So if there is going to be an outlier, I feel like Antonio Gibson here at 210, a super flex, I'm chilling.
I love Gibson. I actually picked him in the mock draft that we did with the Colts because I love him as a player. He is going to be a great fit in Indianapolis because they have Marlon Mack, but Mack could be gone after the season when his rookie contract is up. So they could be looking for a replacement for Mack. And Gibson's that guy that can come in, and if he pans out really well, he could be a 3-down back and a really good 3-down back at that. So I feel like he is a great pick there. And I really was actually going to pick him with the next pick. So you really sniped me there. And I am stuck.
Did take Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Horrible landing spot. So I'll pass on that.
Yeah.
But, looking further down, there's nobody really else other than I'm going to go with another. I had the Colts draft another wide receiver after Michael Pittman Jr. And with the 75th pick, I had them taking KJ Hamler from Penn State. I love Hamler, really speedy guy, and on tape he reminds me a lot of T.Y. Hilton, which the Colts have had at wide receiver. You watch his tape, and he reminds you of that guy that catches it. He's a deep threat guy, but he's that guy that runs over the middle and gets the yardage after the catch, just going around guys. He doesn't make guys miss. He doesn't do that. He just goes around people with his speed. And that just reminds me of T.Y. Hilton, which is T.Y. Hilton's been amazing for the Colts for so long. And I think he comes in and fills that slot role. He's not going to, I don't think he quite lives up to that T.Y. Hilton level. But as the wide receiver 2 in a few years after Pittman and KJ Hamler, that's going to be a really good duo. And I think that it could really, really turn out really well.
Yeah. How about you, Sanan? Who are you taking here? Last pick in the second round.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the landing spot again. I really like the landing spot, maybe, but I like the player too. I'm not very low on him, and that's Antonio Gandy going to the Eagles.
Okay, I like it.
At the end of third round, I think there again Eagles have all the jobs for the taking for the wide receiver, and since I don't believe in Laviska Shenault that much, so I think and Antonio Gandy has the opportunity to take it.
Definitely, I think that is really well said there. And I'm stuck between a few players here, but this is tough. I think I'm gonna go Zach Moss here. I'm not a big Zach Moss guy, but he did land in Green Bay, and they talked about needing another running back. I was really thinking about taking another guy who I will not mention in case I get sniped, but it's just kind of upside there. So in the third round, I'm just shooting high as upside as possible. And how high of upside could he get as like the Packers running back, especially with Aaron Jones being a free agent, I believe, after this season. If Zach Moss shows out, he could be the guy. So upside picks. That's what I'm thinking here in the third round. I don't care about safety anymore.
Makes sense.
Trent, you're on the clock here. Who are you taking?
You look down at pick 100. The New England Patriots have that pick, and they are grabbing their Gronk replacement with Harrison Bryant.
Yeah.
I really, really like Harrison Bryant. He is my tight end 2 in the class, and he has a ton of upside. He's perfect fit as that. Honestly, for my player comp, I had him as a lesser version of Gronk. I think he has that play style. He doesn't have quite the running in the run game, but he does have that dynamic receiving. He's that dynamic receiving threat with a really big body and powerful moving after the catch. So I think he comes in to New England as their next lesser Gronk.
Man, I can't, digest the fact that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to the Raiders. Man, I love him, but I just love Jacobs too. I don't know what will happen if he goes there, and we have to base our thinking on this mock. So I have to push him back even more, and I'll go with Lynn Bowden Jr.
To Detroit?
Yep.
Okay, not my guy. Cool.
Yeah, I think Detroit again has the opportunity. Uh, they only have Golladay, and I think after this year, I think Marvin Jones will be gone. So I think
Mhm.
there's all the opportunity for him to shine there.
Yeah, good thing
I'm not
Danny
very high on
Amendola.
him too.
Yeah.
I think Danny Amendola is very old, man. I think he'll
Mhm.
go
Oh, he is
after
old.
this year
Yeah,
too.
I was bringing that up too because he's gone as well.
Yeah. So I think
Mhm.
the opportunity is there. I'm just talking about opportunity here.
Yeah.
As you said,
Mhm.
the upside pick in the third round. We can't
Yeah. Mhm.
like yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm going to take my next best available player here. Not the best landing spot, but draft capital is pretty solid. Bryan Edwards in the third round went to the Ravens.
Stop me again.
I love sniping Trenton. Hold on. I think I have
I
to.
love Edwards too, but I don't like the landing spot. So that's
This is
why.
how I feel when I snipe Trenton Roberts. Just saying. I feel like a badass. He had 7. Okay, the cool stat here about Bryan Edwards: 7. He broke out at age 17. There's only been like 9 wide receivers who have ever done that in NFL history, and 7 out of the 9 of them are like Hall of Famers, except Keenan Allen. So like if you're breaking out that young, and what breakout age is for our viewers is like a college dominator rating above a certain percentage, means you're getting your team's touchdowns, receiving yards. It's like a calculation, right? So you did that at age 17. People are still in high school at age 17. So the fact that he's doing that at a college level at South Carolina, a pretty good division there in my opinion for a 17-year-old. Man, I get the landing spot's bad, but I don't believe in Hollywood Brown. He could still be the number 1 wide receiver there too. So that's my guy, and I feel great about it.
I that's my guy too,
Mhm.
but I should have taken him instead of Lynn Bowden. I think so.
You should have, but you let him slide to draft master.
Oh
I
my
love
god.
Edwards' tape. I love his tape. He's a great player on film, and he's going to a landing spot where he is going to be a top 2 wide receiver right away.
Yeah.
So that's, and with a young up and coming quarterback, that's a great landing spot.
Up and coming,
Great
how
pick
much
there.
do you want him to come even more? Like he already came.
Up and coming
No,
as
up
a
and coming.
passer more.
Just enough so he can
As he
get it all in
develops
his
more as
mouth.
a passer and gets
He
even
was the
more
top
dangerous than
passer
he already
last year.
is.
You know that? He has the highest passer rating last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I still take Derek Carr over Lamar Jackson, so.
Because you're stupid. That's why.
No, because I like to push your buttons. Okay,
Uh,
who is it here, Trenton, for you? Let's try to finish this round up.
You took my player, so I am lost now.
AJ Dillon.
Exactly. Your player is still there.
Yeah, dude, we all know.
I like AJ Dillon, but that landing spot in Philadelphia, I think Miles Sanders is going to be that guy. So I don't know. I might take him a few picks later, but
He could fit that Jordan Howard role. Jordan
Exactly.
Howard.
That's what I
Yeah.
think. It's not a bad landing
maybe.
spot.
But I'm gonna go with a different player that I like just a little bit more here. I'm gonna go with the pick 158 to the New York Jets, Josh Kelly, running back from UCLA. I think that he has some really good film. He's underrated as a prospect, and I think that Le'Veon Bell is going to be out in a few years, and Kelly can definitely be that heir to the throne. He'll be the next lead running back.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
Yeah, I just can't wait anymore. I have to take him. And that's Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Okay.
I just love the player. I hate the landing spot, but yeah. I'm just going to take it. Who knows what will happen?
That's the best available player. Maybe it will be a committee, and maybe they, if they're taking him in the 3rd round, for Christ's sakes,
Yeah, I know.
maybe they're like trading Jacobs, and this is like a crazy universe, where they're like, oh, we aren't happy with Jacobs.
I just don't like the mock having him at 2 Raiders. I just don't know who.
It's
who
not
did
realistic.
that.
That's an awful pick.
Yeah, I blame the Colts fan club, whatever it is.
Yeah, the fan club ain't smart there. But a landing spot I do like here is 151. I don't know if that's 4th or 5th round there. It's a day 3 pick. But Keyshawn Vaughn going to Vanderbilt, going to the Chargers. Now, I know some of us are bullish on Eckler more than others. But, I mean, he has a chance to take over that Melvin Gordon role. I believe went to a smaller school, then transferred to Vanderbilt his junior year. And he did great at the combine, too. Athletically tested higher than I thought he would. I believe he ran like 4.4, high 4.4s, low 4.5s or something like that. So he's a fast player, too. He has the first kind of that you like too. He has solid film. He's a good pass catcher. Did really well at not a great football school there at Vanderbilt. So I think Keyshawn Vaughn here, good landing spot, could take over Austin Eckler. Not a truther there. So I don't like the 4th round draft capital, but 3rd round, I'll take it.
Okay. Keyshawn Vaughn it is.
Well, I'm going to go a player 2 picks above, or on our list, 2 above where you selected. At the pick 135, the Pittsburgh Steelers trade for this pick from Tennessee via Miami. And they're going for Devin Duvernay.
Yeah, you sniped me.
Yeah. He is going to an offense with, sure, they struggled and they didn't have a great team last year, but he's going to a team where I really don't like any of their other options behind Juju Smith-Schuster, and then maybe Deontay Johnson, but I'm not a huge Deontay Johnson guy. So Duvernay,
Devin Duvernay.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Duvernay.
Let's call him
Okay,
Devin.
we'll go with that. Devin, my boy Devin. From
Yeah.
Texas.
I was almost named Devin, but now I'm in Dylan. Just fun fact of the day.
Yes. Look how lucky he is.
Okay. But I love his tape. He has some really good tape, and he's going to a spot where he can be that second option right away.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Am I who's on the clock here? Me?
I am.
Oh, you
I
are.
am
Okay.
What, did we mess something here?
No. You're on the clock.
I have to select the player. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I thought,
Oh, this is the last pick. Okay. Yeah, my next pick's the last pick in this rookie draft. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to select Jalen Hurts.
Damn it! Take that back right now. No.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts at the end of 3rd round is just a steal, I think.
Yeah.
Even though he'll be, behind Darnold, he's very talented. I don't know what will happen there. Probably, I'm not sure what is that. I hate the coach. I'm not big on Darnold. I don't know why they would select Hurts there. But if they have selected him, there must be some plan. I think he has all the tools to take over from a Darnold. So I really like him.
Okay, I respect it. That was my pick here, but it was between 2 guys here, so I'll just move it on here quickly. Hunter Bryant went in the 3rd round of the Dallas Cowboys. They've been looking for a tight end for years, and honestly, I know they signed Blake Jarwin to that extension. I don't think Blake Jarwin's that good. Jason Witten, honestly, if he takes over Jason Witten's role, but he's not like 50 years old, that honestly has some decent tight end value. So like in the 3rd round, especially because I feel like he kind of reminds me of Evan Ingram on tape. Now, hopefully he can stay healthy like Evan Ingram. Ran a lot slower at the combine than he thought he would, but overall, I feel like he could be that receiving tight end they need. So not really much of an inline blocker, but super explosive on film. Hit 1,000 yards with Jacob Eason this year.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a very quality pick. I really like the landing spot, like you said, and I don't like him as much as a player, but he definitely has that talent to be that guy. And he's going to an offense that needs a tight end.
Yeah, so. But you don't like any players I select, so.
I'm going to seem even more like a homer after this pick because, yes, I'm going back to the Colts.
Wow.
You're such a homer. Who are you, Travis?
At pick 160, the Colts select Colby Parkinson, the tight end from Stanford. The Colts are looking for their receiving tight end. They just lost Ebron in free agency.
Dude, they have Mo Alley-Cox.
I love Mo Alley-Cox, but if they select Colby Parkinson, he's going to be that guy over Mo Alley-Cox. But, yeah, Parkinson is a massive tight end. Standing at like 6'7", 6'8", somewhere in there. So he is a dynamic receiving threat at that height. So I feel like he's going to a team where he can be their receiving tight end right away and contribute immediately and have long-term value.
Yeah, definitely makes sense there. Last pick here. Who are you taking, Sanan?
I'm taking Donovan Peoples-Jones to the Raiders at pick number 80. That's a respectable position.
Yeah.
And I think again the opportunity is there. Like they don't have a wide receiver one right now, so probably. And I have heard good things about him, so
yeah,
that's why.
Definitely a high recruit there. I just want to say before the draft ended, now since it has ended, excuse me, a couple players I was shocked weren't even selected. Jake Fromm, 3rd round at Green Bay. Could he be the successor? I mean, that's a pretty good kind of just organization there, to be honest. The Green Bay Packers are normally pretty solid. And another guy was Albert O going to the Jets. I know they have Chris Herndon, but Albert O flew up the combine, athletic. I mean, if you like breakout age, if you like kind of that process statistically here, he shouldn't be undrafted. So most rookie drafts tend to be 4 rounds anyways, so they'd be drafted. But those are 2 guys for me that I was shocked weren't drafted. How about you guys?
I got another name for you. Looking at pick 76 from Tampa Bay, Jacob Eason, the quarterback. He's going in, like I mentioned earlier, when I picked Jordan Love, I said he's going behind Brady, an all-time great. He's going to learn there. Jacob Eason's doing the same thing. He's going to a great offense, going to back up an all-time great quarterback. So I feel like that's a good pick there. I just think that his bust potential is relatively high.
That's true. I've heard bad things about his work ethic. So
yeah, and I think Trenton will like my pick. I think AJ Dillon is a good player, but the landing spot is not the worst. I mean, I think we could have selected him in the 3rd round. So I think he'll definitely be selected.
Definitely.
And I blame all of this, whatever happened, to these Colts fan who draft like their management does, which is very, very bad.
Fight me.
Too many shots taken.
This is terrible. Yeah, whatever teams Trent selected for, those were the worst though. I do like the landing spots for Taylor and DeAndre Swift, but after that they screwed up the whole draft, bro. Like this running back class is good. I don't know why a lot of these guys are going like the 5th round.
I love your Taylor pick though. I mean, he should go to Baltimore.
That'd be so
much fun. So much fun.
I can't wait till Leonard Fournette gets traded there for a 5th, and then you're just gonna be like,
I'll be okay with it.
I guess it's a 5th, but
yeah, I don't care about Fournette. I care about Baltimore. Like if he comes for a 5th, I would be very happy.
Yeah, it'll be a Leonard Fournette truther. But with that being said, that's all the time we have here. But we'll let Trent say his last thing before we wrap it up.
I was just going to agree with you. Jonathan Taylor in Baltimore is an amazing fit.
Yeah, definitely. So now we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for listening, watching today's episode, where no matter the platform. My name is Dylan Thomas. I'm joined with Sanat Saraf and Trenton Roberts. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Remember to stay safe, wash your hands, keep your social distance. Have a great one.